Well, the national championship is just 3 days away. We can feel the music in our minds. We're feeling the beats going on. The music, it's just like, I can't wait.
Isn't that like a song with Justin Timberlake and Gloria Estefan or something?
I don't know.
Oh, that's music of the heart.
Okay, Ohio State.
Music in your mind.
Seeking its first national title in 10 years. Notre Dame looking for its first in 36. It's been an exciting path leading up to Monday's matchup. All eyes going to be on these teams, these players, the music that will be playing.
In your mind as you watch the game.
As you get ready to crown a champ. There's a lot going on over here at Chip Patterson. I just heard music playing. I was feeling the beat getting ready for this game on Monday. Chip, thanks for joining us. It's going to be a fun day here. All right, we're going to look at your top 10 players when it comes to the college football championship game. I know this was not an easy list to make because there's a lot of talent out there. But your top player, the #1 guy, it just so happens to be a true freshman. Tell us why he's so special.
Jenny, #1 was very easy. Sorting out the top 10, a little difficult, but Jeremiah Smith at #1 was, I mean, he's just a rock star like that guitar that we all heard, Jenny. Don't worry, we all heard it. And I think that with Jeremiah Smith, you don't even have to have catches. You don't even have to have touchdowns in order to impact the game in a major way. He had just 1 catch in the national semifinal, but you go back and you review the tape and you just see the way that Texas was paying so much attention to Jeremiah Smith. It opened up opportunities for Carnell Tate. It opened up opportunities for tight ends G. Scott, and it opened up opportunities in the screen game as we saw Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins both have a big impact. So Jeremiah Smith, the talent level that he was able to showcase in absolutely lighting up the first 2 opponents, Tennessee and Oregon. The production dropped off, but it has not changed what he can do. So, you line them up, I'm going to take Jeremiah Smith 1. You try to say most valuable, I'm going to take Jeremiah Smith 1. You say most impactful, I'm taking Jeremiah Smith 1 because nobody is giving Notre Dame defensive coordinator Al Golden more trouble sleeping than that freshman wide receiver.
You have to know where he is on the field at all times. That is clear, and you could see it in his past performance. And then he has just those incredible one-handed grabs that you're like, how does this kid even do this? Just such an amazing talent all around. Okay, so at #2, Ohio State, you have safety Caleb Downs. We're going to switch things over, though. We're going to go to #3, and that's your first Notre Dame player. You have quarterback Riley Leonard landing at #3. Why is that?
He just has so many different ways that he can allow this offense to go. And in this matchup, time of possession is going to be so important. Notre Dame stringing together long drives, converting on 3rd down. And that was something that really helped them climb back into the game against Penn State. We remember the way that he was able to string together those long touchdown drives in the second half that allowed the Fighting Irish to get back in and eventually win the game. Sometimes he does it with his legs. Sometimes it is a timely pass to Mitchell Evans or Jaden Greathouse, or maybe even Aeneas Williams, who we saw start to play a part in the passing game as well in the semifinals. So for Riley Leonard, you're a quarterback. Duh, of course you're going to be important. But what he can do with his legs, what he can do with his decision-making within the structure of this offense, but most importantly, the key to Notre Dame winning this game is as few short drives as possible. Limit the number of times Ohio State touches the ball, extend the amount of time that Notre Dame has the ball, and that's all going to come down to what Riley Leonard and his legs and arm can do for the Fighting Irish in this contest.
You make it sound so easy out there. Just do these few little things and you're golden. Totally fine. Yeah. All right, so Buckeyes, you have Jack Sawyer at #4, and then at #5, we're going back to Notre Dame, and you have a player that I just love watching, safety Xavier Watts there. What makes him unique?
Just so good at so many things. He's got 13 interceptions over the last 2 seasons. He's a 2-time All-American. And I think that for Notre Dame, another key for this, if it is extending long drives offensively, defensively, they've got to create some takeaways. They are #1 nationally in takeaways. But most importantly to me, Jenny, Notre Dame is #1 nationally in points off turnovers. 137 points off turnovers on the season. That is way ahead of Tulane at number 2, which is just 107. And that has been the key to so much of Notre Dame's success. Xavier Watts is one of the best playmakers on this defense in terms of generating those takeaways. And then that allows Riley Leonard and the offense to get good field position, capitalize on that with points. So Xavier Watts is going to be tested in lots of different ways. They might choose to be able to switch around his assignments between any number of these Ohio State wide receivers. He is gifted in terms of being able to play the just regular pass defense, but it is that X factor of generating turnovers that I think takes him over the top. He has been so good over the last couple of seasons throughout all of college football, but man, they need him to come up big. With all the injuries that Notre Dame has, your best players have to be your best players in the biggest games. Xavier Watts, that's you.
X factor. I like what you did there. We're going to look at the battle of the backs now. So you have Jeremiah Love ranked 6th. Now that's above any Buckeyes running backs. What made you place him in that spot?
Yeah, the heater that he's on this year. I think he's underrated. I think he's overlooked. I think that we spent so much time in the running back discussion focused on Ashton Jeanty that we did not appreciate what Jeremiah Love was able to do, just stringing together 100-yard game after 100-yard game after 100-yard game. That kind of consistency is just something we don't often see in college football. And so the fact that he's only a sophomore, the fact that he's going to be back for next season, Jenny, I think he's a Heisman Trophy contender for 2025 when you're putting together your way too early lists. Now, he is a little bit hobbled, and he's been dealing with some injuries. But when I thought he was tackled at the 4, then he dragged all those Penn State defenders all the way into the end zone with that remarkable touchdown. He has continuing to exceed expectations and say, what injury issues? So Jeremiah Love, I think, again, not given enough respect throughout the regular season as one of the best running backs in the entire country. In this playoff run, he has shown what he can do right there. And in this matchup, I think he's a huge part of that Notre Dame offense. Again, you got to have good runs on first down. You got to get first downs on third downs. This is all stuff that's going to come down to Riley Leonard and the star running back, Jeremiah Love.
You mentioned not getting enough respect. I have a little bone to pick with you on this next topic. How do you leave Will Howard off your top 10 list? What's going on?
This is going to be controversial, Jenny.
Yeah.
If Will Howard is one of the most impactful players in this game, I think it's because of Will Howard mistakes.
Ooh.
I think that Will Howard just needs to go out there, and you just need to operate. You need to be a bus driver. You don't need to be a fighter pilot. You don't need to force something that isn't there. He tried to force feed Jeremiah Smith on the first drive of the third quarter in the national semifinal, and that Texas linebacker David Benda dropped back, snatched it right out of the sky for an interception. So I think that this is definitely a spot where you don't want to overcorrect and go total Michigan game plan, where you're just like banging your head into a wall because you don't believe the other team's going to be able to score. You need to be able to take some shots. You need to be able to take some chances. But ultimately, I think that for Will Howard in this particular matchup, it's going to be about accuracy, and it's going to be about, most importantly, avoiding the costly turnover. We saw a little bit of that. You know, the throws that could have been interceptions in the first half ended up being an interception in the second half. So for Will Howard, I did not have him on my top 10 list. I've got 6 Buckeyes on my top 10 list, but no Will Howard, because if he is a storyline, I fear it would not be for the right reason.
Fair enough. You want the opposite of the Michigan game plan. That's for sure. All right, real quick, game prediction. Who you got?
I got Ohio State winning this game. I've got it somewhere in that like 31-24. I mean, we're really going to be sweating the spread, but I do think the Buckeyes are going to be able to score on Notre Dame. And I just think the resiliency of this Fighting Irish team, I'm never going to count them out. But I do think that Ohio State wins their 9th national championship in Atlanta.
Chip Patterson getting us ready for that national title game. We can't wait to watch it. The Cover 3 crew, they definitely have you covered when it comes to that national championship. Their locks episode is now out. The guys recap their best bets from last week, discuss their locks for the big game, Notre Dame against Ohio State.